On the south side of County Road 630 and east of State Road 37 is a 200-acre tract of land that offers 8 miles of trails, a hill climb, 2 practice areas, an open play area and picnic areas with 15 trails, hill climbs, and free riding areas known as Bone Valley ATV Park. It's one of the newest attractions within Polk County, and details are coming up on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Jeremy Morady, and with me here is Derek Harp, who's Recreation Superintendent for Polk County Parks and Rec. Thanks for coming, Derek.
No problem. Good to be here.
Well, here to talk to you a little bit about the Bone Valley ATV Park, which has been open for a few months now, and we've really been working the trails and getting things down, getting people out there to get used to them. You can tell us a little bit about what all's out there and what people could expect.
Sure. One, we're extremely proud of the park. Brand new, been open about 2 months, but it's our first ATV park. Brand new experience for us, learning experience in some manner, but it's a beautiful 200-acre park. You touched on some of the amenities that we have, but really excited about the trail riding. We have about 13, 14 trails so far, about 8 miles of it altogether. Through underneath the oak canopy, through old phosphate pits. It's a beautiful ride. You've been out a few times and enjoyed it, but it's a beautiful ride. We have some open play areas that are really popular, a little more popular than I thought they would be. They're out there. Everybody likes riding. Those are some challenging hills and corners and stuff like that they really like in the open play area. Kind of has more of a motocross feel a little bit to it. And then we have some open hill climbs. We developed a bathroom system up there, a beautiful set of bathrooms with showers, and really feels more like a campground atmosphere around the park area than it does the ATV park. But we're really proud of everything out there, and it's going really well. Safety was a concern, but people have done a really good job out there and seem to enjoy their experience.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about, I know this is, a new venture for the county into an ATV park, that there's, really, isn't there only one other public open ATV park in the state?
There are a few. Okay. Croom up in Ocala is the one everybody's most familiar with. A lot of people ride it, been up there a long time. Down south they have another one called Hell's Gate, the state operates too. There's a few communities down south that are looking to get into them to try. I've got somebody from Collier County coming up here in the next week or so to take a look at ours, because they may consider doing it. But very few public facilities. A lot of private land that people are used to riding on. I grew up in Polk County and rode no public lands, I guarantee you that. Yeah. It was a lot of private property, and probably property we weren't supposed to be on at the time. But I think that's the beauty of this complex, is it gives somebody a place to ride that was designed, and ATVs were the primary focus. It's not an orange grove, it's not a pasture, it's an ATV park. And so that's the thing that we really are kind of trying to educate everybody on. It's designed for ATVs. The trails are designed for ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles. We have all those things out there. And the safety, of course, was paramount when we started discussing all this, is how do we design something that is designed for ATVs, that keeps them safe, but it also gives them an experience and some fun and a little bit of thrill. That's the reason you do that. And I think we've tried and we've done that. We keep modifying things, but very few things. I mean, it keeps going. We get the feedback from our visitors, and feedback's phenomenal. We get about a 95% approval rating. Everybody goes out there, and for a park, a brand new park, and our first time is amazing.
Well, can you get into a little bit, with this being a new venture, I mean, this isn't something that's popped up overnight. I mean, this has been in the works for a while. Can you kind of go through the history on kind of how this came to be, and when you guys started noticing that, there was a need out there, that people wanted to have a park like this? Because it's really unlike a lot of others that the county has.
Yeah, we were used to building ball fields, for lack of a better term. Soccer, baseball, softball, football. We have over 120 ball fields in this county that we operate. So that was kind of our bread and butter for a long time, playgrounds and,
Sure.
and all those things. About 10 plus years ago, right around the 10-year mark, there started to be a push from the community that rode, wanting to find some place to ride that they, public land that they could ride on. Because ATV sales were going up and just no place to ride. People got a little more protective about letting people on their property. The insurance issues and risk issues all got to people, and so the public or the private places started closing down around here, and people started getting run off from orange groves and things like that they were normally doing. So that was kind of a push, and at the time, Commissioner Randy Wilkinson took this up as something he would like to see. And we formed a citizen advisory committee, and we kind of went and looked for property. And we looked for quite a few years at different places, and they all had their challenges. Finally, Mosaic stepped up and had a piece of property out off of 630, close to 37, which gives us really good access from a lot of places. Down from Fort Meade, Frostproof, you come out in 630, 37 from Lakeland, and Hillsborough County is pretty easy to get to from us, and so is Manatee County and things like that, Hardee County. So it's a really good spot. A couple hundred acres, which sounds like a lot, but in ATVs it's not a lot. And that's the one challenge I think we have. That we've done a lot in the 200 acres. We're hoping everything goes well, people enjoy their experience. We have options on other acreage around there that would make it a much larger place. That's down the road, but it's brand new for us. It was a challenge. We developed all the rules and did a lot of research. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We wanted to go out and see what other successful people were doing with rules and regulations, and there are some state mandates and things like that we all had to take into consideration, but it was a long developmental process. The committee found that, the board decided to buy the property. We got some grants to help offset the cost of that. We got some grants to help offset the design and construction of it. So we've been really fortunate in that situation. But it turned out well, but it was a long process. It took about 10 years for us to get to this point.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful, going out there, seeing this property that used to be phosphate land, and you still have a lot of the spoil piles out there that are the, I guess, dividers of the
They're
trails.
the basis for the trail.
And it's almost like these big cliffs going up, right next to you, that you're zooming around on the trails, and it's a whole different experience for folks that aren't used to that, and especially all of that land that's down there, has been mined.
All of it has, yeah. And like I said, Mosaic was a tremendous partner. We got it for a really reasonable price. Developing that property was fun. When you start looking at how we're going to develop the trails and where they're going to go, you walk out there today and it's not the same place it was when I first walked onto property. When I first walked on the property, it's just an overgrowth of everything. It's a little open field here, but most of it is forest and thicket, and it was just really rough. And GPSing and marking those trails where we're going to design it, they did a great job. Because they use the natural contours of that land and those fingers that are old spoil piles as the basis of our trails. They're kind of built around those things up and down. The elevation comes from them when you go up and down on the different sides. But it's different. The first thing people say when they wrote out is not what I expected. They look at it and go, "This is a park that you can ride an ATV in," which is different. And there's nothing wrong with the different places. They're very successful in some of them, but a lot of them are just open ride area and a mud pit and things like that that people are used to going to, and those are very cool places, but they're kind of a different situation. This is a little more technical with the riding. It's not just blasting through a mud hole or doing that. They're a little challenging in some spots, a little unnerving in a few, but it's a trail that's built into these things and into these spoil piles and around these things. And I think that we did a great job of taking advantage of the natural terrain that's there, or the terrain that was left after the mining.
Sure. Well, one of the things that I find fascinating with this, and in my time that I've been working with you guys, in looking at the park and photographing it is the amount of input that's come in from the public that's helped to shape what it is now, and how it continues to shape it. The number of people that you guys have talked to in the community to say, hey, come out, look at this. Does this work? What doesn't work? And those modifications that you guys have done. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we started modifying that thing pretty early. And it's not been major. It's been, we had the full intentions of seeing how people operated inside the park when they got there and then adjusting things. Because we knew, brand new event, venture for us, brand new set of circumstances, brand new user group. Let's see what happens. So we got a lot of input beforehand. The community came out and talked a lot about it. We talked to, we brought out people that teach safety classes on ATVs and motorcycles to kind of see how they go. We brought some vendors and retailers out to see what they think about it. But the main thing was the people that built the trails did an awesome job, almost too good. It in certain spots was not challenging enough. So we looked at that and we fixed some of those things, made it a little more technical, a little more difficult, and that was the first thing we did. The second was the open play area. We wanted to build some obstacles and some things that they could play around in, and they've been tremendous giving us feedback on that. We like more of this, less of this, modify this. It's been awesome, and so we've gone in there and done some of those things. Signage has changed to make it more user-friendly, to make it where they understand what's going on a little easier. That's direct feedback from our customers saying, that's great, but can we do some modifications on some of the trail markers and some things like that? And absolutely, we've done those things. And we ask everybody to fill out a response card after they've come. And most people are more than willing to do that. Like I said, the response has been great, but there's also a spot on there, what would you like to see and what could you see more of? And they've been really helpful. The public's been great. Private business has been great with coming in there, taking a look at it and saying what their suggestion. So it's been a really good effort as far as everybody, and we're listening. And we got some things we're going to do in the next phase or so out there, and a lot of it's coming directly off of input from what they like to see. We have another open play area that we're going to modify, and it's going to be, we've had some people come in and say we'd like to see this, so we're going to add those things soon.
Well, I like the division between the open play area, the trails, but there's also a certain aspect of it that's all about family friendly, about bringing everybody out. It's not a cut loose and hog wild kind of thing through mud pits and everything. That this is really a family friendly environment that you can bring your food, picnic, come out for the day, hang out with your family and hang.
And I think that's the park input part of it. I think that's the good mesh of what we've got going on is we are parks people. We've been doing it a long time. Most of us over 20 years that are in our offices, admin offices. We've been in this business a long time. So putting that park touch to it where absolutely, we want you to come out, bring your whole family. This is not an age, where we're targeting one age group. We want everybody out there. And we've had everybody out there from 5, 6-year-olds learning in the training areas to the 70-year-olds riding their side-by-sides and having a blast. So we've had that. So we want you to come out there. We have space set up. Our parking loops are really good size with big grass aprons on them, so you can come, back your truck up, your trailer there, unload, put your tent up, bring your grill out and your cooler and sit there and barbecue with the family. They can go ride for a little bit, come back and get under the tent, cool off, have something to eat, and go back out there again. We want you to be there all day. And I think if you're there all day, the value of the price that you're paid to get in the park is tremendous, because you can't really go to a movie or an attraction or a theme park for less than that. And you can have 8 hours of fun at this place on a day and have a good time, and everybody will have a good time when you're out there.
Sure.
Because there's something for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
There's if you want to go slow and take a look at the sights, there's wildlife and there's beautiful vistas in some of the areas out there. And if you just want to go out and let it rip and try to tear your stuff up, there's some stuff out there for that as well.
Well, can you go over, I know you kind of touched on a little bit about the difference between riding on private land and public land, that there are some state regulations that folks need to know about, when they come out.
Sure.
With the registration of the ATV and things like that.
Yeah, there's only a few things, and that's I think the misconception when I talk to people, and I'm in sales mode every time I go see anybody these days about bringing the ATV park, from friends I've known for 20 years to new businesses or new parks, communities I go to talk to. So I'm in sales mode, I'm not in education mode for that. But it's really only a couple of things, and there's a, a little misconception about it. One, your vehicle has to be registered with the state. Now, like I said before, there's 3 types of vehicles that are out there. There's motorcycles, there's side-by-sides, and there's 4-wheelers. We don't allow 3-wheelers, but they haven't manufactured 3-wheelers in a long time. So the industry kind of took care of that many years ago. But you had to register, and it's a one-time fee. You take it into your tag agency, your tax collector's office here in Bartow. You go see Joe Tedder's people, and they're awesome. They'll help you with it. Take your bill of sale in there, and they'll get you your sticker. It's one time. A lot of the bike shops now are starting to issue them, and they're just sending them out to you after you buy it. So a lot of that's taken care of. But if you don't, then you can go see Mr. Tedder's people, and they're awesome. They'll help you with it. The other thing is if you have a child that's under 16, they have to go through a rider safety course. And if you go to our website, bonevalleyatv.com, we have links to those things. You can take it online. You can take it. We've had people at the park come in, take it on their smartphone, email us the certificate for the kid, and go riding an hour later. It's awesome. But yeah, those things happen all the time. But those are the 2 main things. The other thing we like to remind people of is bring a helmet. You have to wear a helmet. But other than that, that's all the restrictions there are, other than the park rules and county property. There's no alcohol, things like that. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We want you to have a good time, but those are the things that we want you to be aware of before you get there, because we don't want to turn anybody away. We want to educate you before you come out there and have you take care of those few little things before you go out there and ride.
Sounds good. Well, Derek, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about this.
No problem. We're very proud of it and happy to share.
All right. Thank you. Bone Valley ATV Park is now open for business. The park is located at 10427 County Road 630 West in Mulberry. With a 200-acre tract of land with 15 trails, hill climbs, and free riding areas, it's a great place for ATV enthusiasts. They are open on Thursday through Monday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. in June through September, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. October through May. Keep in mind that state law requires all ATVs to be registered prior to riding on public property, and riders under 16 years of age are required to take a rider's education class prior to riding on public property. For rules, fees, and other information, you can check them out on the web at bonevalleyatv.com or give them a call at 863-428-0525.